Since the very beginning, foreign policy has been an important factor for our country. According to Pearson Realized, foreign policy is actually many different policies on many different topics. From military to economics, foreign policy is without a doubt extremely important. With that being said, it would be hard to imagine the U.S. being more domestic in their affairs than foreign. Despite the thought, this was the case more than 150 years ago. With our relationships with other nations revolving around being domestic during the time, the United States would have been better off staying this way. In fact, the best way this could have been done was through the policy of isolationism. The reason behind isolationism is best suited for today's society is due to how effective it was when dealing with confrontational situations and the development of the United States. Yes, this does sound weird considering the fact that we currently do the exact opposite of this. Before disagreeing with me, hear me out. Implementing the policy of isolationism allowed a geographical growth that a young and weak United States needed during the time. After the Revolutionary War, the U.S. implemented this policy with the help of the Monroe Doctrine. Because of this, the United States began a time of expansion with the Louisiana Purchase in 1803 and the Florida Purchase Treaty in 1819. With this doctrine and these recent purchases, the United States were on their way to becoming a world power. In terms of the sociological perspective, isolationism caused us to distance ourselves from the world's issues. A primary example of this is when the U.S. decided to cut ties with joining the League of Nations during World War I. When looking at those affected by this policy, it would be hard to ignore the citizens. After dealing with World War I, the citizens began to feel isolation was necessary. From an article on andycrown.net, Americans viewed the nations of Europe as conflict-prone. The policy furthers its importance when looking at what it costs other nations. The cost being referred to is strict immigration laws on Europe. According to the official website of the Department of Homeland Security, Congress strengthened national immigration law with new legislation in 1903 and 1907. This only increased with the Immigration Act of 1917 that required literary tests and being able to speak English. To conclude this video, the United States should have stayed isolated. It proved to be highly effective when the country was under development. In addition to this, isolating ourselves kept us out of the world's issues for many years until the world wars. Without the policy of isolationism, you may instead get a sea of problems that aren't even yours.